Why, hello, and welcome to Spoiler Piece Theater, the podcast that doesn't give a shit about spoilers. We just want to talk about the movies. My name is Dave Riedel. I do movie stuff. I don't even know what to say anymore for this. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association. I misspoke there a bunch of times. Sorry.
It's all good. My name's Evan Crean. I am co-chair of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, co-author of Your 80s Movie Guide to Better Living, and co-host of the It's the Pictures podcast. And my pronouns are he, him.
And my name is Megan Kearns. My pronouns are she, her. I'm co-host of the Slashers podcast. I write and podcast for In Session Film. I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association and a member of Gallica, the Society of LGBTQ Entertainment Critics.
Woo!
Woo-woo.
Well, everybody, it is a bittersweet day here on Spoiler Piece. You probably remember because we've mentioned it several times, but today is Megan's last day or last episode as co-host on Spoiler Piece Theater. And we're going to have a good episode, but it is bittersweet at the same time. Yeah. So, Megan, it has been a joy having you on the show for the past... I don't even know how long it's been.
Where did the time
6
go?
years?
Yeah, 350 episodes or something like that. Like,
yeah. It was
did a bunch.
2019. Yeah. So
yeah.
like 5.5. I was almost at 3.5. I can't do math. Yeah.
Yep.
I just have to say it's been a privilege. It's been an honor. It's been an absolute joy and delight. And you guys invited me to come on, and I was super honored. And it was a really difficult time in my life. And you guys gave me joy and structure, and it just kind of helped me out of a slump and probably in ways that I can't even fully express. And so I am eternally grateful to both of you for being such good friends, good colleagues. And and I'm very sad about today too. So, but thank you for everything you guys have done.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it also is just like seeing each other every week, getting a chance to talk even before what you hear, listeners. We get a chance to catch up with each other, and not long after you joined the show, we had a little pandemic happen, and it was really helpful to have the structure, as you mentioned, to get together and to be able to talk and to have something to look forward to every week. And I think it helped us all kind of pull each other through what was a very difficult time with a lot of external things going on.
Indeed.
Yeah. And my personal life kind of went into a shambles not long after you joined. So it was good to have this then too, as it is now, even if things are much more stable these days. Despite the fact that I have two small terrorists trying to kill me every day, but that's all right. I don't actually
have to worry about now.
Yeah, I don't have two small terrorists. Those are my children that I lovingly refer to as well, whatever. If they ever listen to this when they're older and be like, "You call us
what the hell?" Thanks a lot, Dad.
So, anyway, this week on the show, we got a couple of movies, but before we get into that, I want to mention that over on Patreon, we have the results of a poll this week. It is a post-apocalyptic, dystopian future kind of poll. That's what Megan wanted to do for her last poll. And one of her movie suggestions won the 1995 film Tank Girl, starring Lori Petty and Naomi Watts. And it is over there on the Patreon. If you're not a member, I strongly urge you to become one, if for no other reason than to download this one, because it's a classic. Two of us like it, and one of us really doesn't like it.
And you might be surprised who it is. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, would we have it any other way, though? I mean, as fun as it is to agree, I mean, I feel like it's more our MO to disagree.
Yeah. Although I do think we, not to give away too much, I think there are some areas where we agree on what is working versus what is not working.
Mm-hmm.
Very much
That's
so.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, so if you have a chance, everybody, check that out. And on this show, this week, the main episode, we have two films. We have Islands, which stars Sam Riley as a drunk douche and Stacey Martin. And then we have A Private Life starring Jodie Foster, mostly speaking French because she speaks it in real life, and she's acting in a French movie. And it's sort of a thriller, Hitchcock-ish, kind of. Anyway, whatever. We'll fucking get to it. We're going to talk about Islands first because why not? This movie stars, like I said, Sam Riley. It also stars Stacey Martin. It is written by some people, and it is directed by, I want to say, Jan-Ole Gerster?
Yes.
All right.
That's
Nice.
correct. I listened to the pronunciation, and that is it. Yes.
I am very pleased with myself. Yeah, it's kind of interesting the way this is separated out in IMDb. It has all the main actors like low, and it has all the supporting actors, incidental actors up top.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre.
It is strange looking at it too.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it. You know, Sam Riley is Tom. He's an Englishman living. I guess this is supposed to be a Spanish island somewhere, but it's actually
Canary Islands, I think.
Canary Islands, yeah. But they filmed it near Morocco, I want to say.
Yeah, it's Fuerteventura in Spain.
Is that a real island?
Yeah, it's a real island because that's where the hotel is. It's like Hotel Rio Tres Islas or something. Yeah, where they. Yeah, I have the exact name. I wrote it down. But anyway, yes,
Wow.
yes, it's way off the coast of Spain, and it's way closer to Morocco.
Well, I was going to say, this is not exactly an advertisement for this hotel because they talk about how the one of the rooms is really shitty because you can hear the garbage cans being emptied every morning. Mm-hmm. And they let Tom, the tennis coach at the hotel, just like fucking pass out drunk in the chaise lounge chairs by the pool. And everyone's just like, oh, Tom, yeah, we're the tennis court.
He wakes up on the tennis court once.
Yeah.
Yes.
My favorite part is when he wakes up in what looks like the desert. Well, it is the desert, but
this is the opening of the film.
Yeah, he's only about 30 yards away from his car, as it turns out. And you get the feeling that he has done this before.
Right. Yeah. It's a disturbing start. You see this like body laying face down in the sand, and then you slowly see him start to stir. And you're like, is he in the middle of the desert? No, he's just on a sand dune, near his car, which is like not too far from the hotel.
Yep. So he goes to this club almost every night called the Waikiki, and sometimes he just gets drunk and passes out. But on one occasion, he picks up a nice tourist woman who's young, who was one of his lessons or whatever. And she looks like she's having a great time. So I think to him, it's just kind of like all one, just like, whatever. He's one of those guys who keeps alcohol hidden in his office. Hadn't occurred to me. This is kind of ingenious. You get one of those skinny bottles of whatever it is, and you put it in the empty tennis ball case, and you can get it out and have a plug. And so then one day he's hungover and shit, of course, and Stacey Martin shows up, and I got the vibe immediately that she recognized him, and that does come up later, but it's not. I mean, I think the vibe is supposed to be that maybe he's the father of this kid.
100%.
That's definitely what it is. Yeah,
but it's
even
like,
though the movie never explicitly confirms that, like,
right?
Yes, you are the father of this kid. I think it is very much stated.
Well, the kid,
that was so Maury Povich of you. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you
like
are the father.
The kid can play tennis kind of naturally, He likes Tom a lot, and Tom really likes him. Just not in a sort of like, oh, this is my long lost son. It's just like, oh, what a nice kid. I like this kid. You know?
Yeah.
Even when he's being a little turd, which he does. But anyway, so Anne, was that her name? What's her name?
Anne.
It is Anne. Anne comes over and she's like, hey, my son plays tennis. His father gave him a couple lessons. Do you teach kids? And he's like, sure, I have a clinic. And she's like, no, his dad wants him to have private lessons. And he's like, all right, well, this French couple they're fucking assholes and they never show up. So you can have the 9:00 spot tomorrow, and then they play and the kid's good. And then the next day the dad comes to the lesson and he's a total asshole. Not that mom is like a fucking delight. It's just, she's shitty in her own way, but it's in a very quiet, reserved English way. Whereas this guy is very English public school money asshole. Like Tom takes them out and shows them around the island because, of course, Dave is the dad's name. And he's a complete prick, and he's talking about how, like, well, we got a Swiss chalet, or we go to here, and Anne always books these great trips, but this time she wanted to come here, and I don't fucking know why. And it's like because she wanted to see this guy that she boned once and had a kid with, dickhead. Anyway, and she wants to hopefully get rid of you because something in the back of Anne's mind knows that this is the kind of environment in which Dave could lose his shit, and there's all kinds of ways that he could accidentally kill himself. And lo and behold, Dave disappears after going out for drinks with Tom. Tom, who for once in his life is kind of the voice of reason. He's like, Dave, I don't really know if you should be drinking or talking to those girls, man. That's fucked up.
Right.
And so Tom just he's like, we got to go. And Dave's like, nah, I'm going to stay and try to bang this chick. Who is clearly like way out of my league. And Tom's like, okay. And he books a room at the hotel and goes and sleeps there. And then Dave disappears. And I was going to say Stacy because Stacy Martin is the performer. But Anne go look for him the next day. They can't find him. They don't know what to tell the kid. They don't tell anything. It's looking more and more like Dave fell into the ocean and drowned. Mm-hmm. The big swinging dicks in the local, like the local police department is like, we can't handle a missing person's case. We got to bring in the big swinging dicks. And so they get in somebody from fucking Barcelona or, Mallorca or wherever the fuck, I don't know. And the inspector, they call him the chief inspector. And he is definitely like what would you call him? Creamily insincere.
Ooh, creamily. Nice.
Yeah. He's like, well, I mean, you got this 11-minute phone call on your phone and you deleted the record of it. We're like, what the fuck, Anne? And she's like, nah, I did something stupid. And which is to leave the hotel. But I mean, she didn't actually, I think that just in her heart of hearts, she was just hoping that Dave had died. I don't think that she would. She seems like a shithead, but she doesn't seem like I'll commit murder shithead.
Right.
Yeah, maybe not. But I love the scene where she says to Tom, oh, do you want to know why I lied about, leaving the hotel? And he just says, no.
Yep. He's like, I do not.
No, I don't.
Yeah. I kind of love Tom's whole attitude about this. Yes! Just sort of like bewildered, but kind of making the right choices just because he knows what the seaminess of this. Of course, he ends up fucking her anyway. But,
Boo.
And yeah. I know, bad move. And of course, Dave comes back. It turns out that he did fall. Well, he didn't fall into the ocean. He took off his clothes, jumped into the ocean because he thought he could swim to an adjacent island.
And he was kind of something.
Yeah, and he was kind of like lost in sea and like having trouble staying afloat. And this party boat saw him in the water, hauled him out. So he's like got sunstroke. He's dehydrated. Well, you get dehydrated when you have sunstroke. And he's been awake for 3 days. But the nurse or the administrator at the hospital is like, ultimately he's going to be fine. And just the look of mild disappointment on Anne's face is hilarious. You know. And then Tom, of course, goes out and gets fucking blotto and wakes up on the tennis court. And Dave is there and he's like, hey, man, sorry about that fucking crazy shit. Here's an envelope of cash to keep you quiet.
Yeah. He says, thanks for taking care of my family. And I think he kind of knows that he took care of his family in more than one way.
If your wife came all the way back to a Spanish island that she went to maybe once just to bone the guy that she boned 7 years ago or 8 years ago, if you count the gestation period. And this movie's something else. Anyway, what did everybody think? Let's start with Meg. Let's start with Megan on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one thing I will say is that this is why I despise marketing. And because this is billed as a Hitchcockian thriller, this is billed as Patricia Highsmith meets
Also,
Challengers. Like, this is not a fucking throuple. There's not a threesome. Like, no, this is not a tense thriller in that way. So if you are expecting that, you will probably be severely disappointed.
Yeah.
However,
that's true.
If you're looking for a sunny noir that's, kind of really more a complex exploration of existentialism and life choices and like, oh, wow, I have a family and I fucking hate it and I hate this person I'm married to, or, oh, wow, I get drunk all the time and I'm on vacation all the time, seemingly in this beautiful tropical locale, but I hate myself in my life. What am I doing? This is the movie for you.
This is your movie.
You're in the market for a subtle thriller.
Yes. Yes, a very subtle thriller. Yeah. And so once I got over this is not that kind of thriller, this is very low-key thrillery, I was into it. Mm-hmm. And I think the big reason is Fuerteventura is gorgeous. It's a beautiful island, and that is a big part of it. I love I can't believe I'm so desperate for contrasting colors and beautiful colors. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be that impressed by color because I'm tired of like monotony and dismal gray in film. But anyway, I digress. But it's beautiful looking. But the big reason is Sam Riley is excellent here.
He is so good in this.
Really good. In a way I've never seen him be good before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him and he's been like fine, whatever.
Yeah,
but he's okay in Widow Cliquot. He's okay in Maleficent, like whatever. But he's never really wowed me. He is fucking outstanding here. Like I was riveted because of him. Whether he's fucking up, whether he's making the right choices. I found him just fascinating. I wanted to observe him. I wanted to see what he's observing. And I think, Dave, you really nailed it when you were talking about how he constantly fucks up, but he's making kind of good choices here. And he's like kind of watching astounded at this family, but he also is so entrenched in their problems and he can't seem to extricate himself. Yeah. And that is fascinating to watch. So I just was really hooked into this. Like, I was like, where is this going? What's going to happen? And we all kind of know what happened, but yet I love that it doesn't explicitly tell you. So there is a chance that kid is not his and he's just having an existential crisis and thinking like, oh God, what would it be like if I had a kid? But it probably is his kid. But the one thing I will say is I did not like Stacey Martin's performance at all.
I just don't really care for her.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm like, I feel like she needed much more charisma to pull off this role, and she was just like beige paint drying. I'm just like, I don't care, like you're just boring. But Sam Riley is great. Jack Farthing is a good douche.
He's so great.
He's a really good
such
douche.
A great asshole.
That like medium length hair and those sunglasses, those kind of like plain style black sunglasses. You've met this guy. And like
when he shows up,
like sandals, you've met this guy.
You've met this guy and you hate this guy.
When the first time you see him, he's wearing that pink linen shirt.
Oh,
and it's just like,
yes.
This is fucking perfect for an Englishman on vacation. I have never seen anything more on the nose in my life.
If he was American, you would have said, okay, he played lacrosse and wears boat shoes and probably has like Vineyard Vines clothes.
Very much so. But I just have to say, before I want to hear what you guys think about this, I also really loved Tom's friendship with Anton and Amina, the couple who were going back to Morocco, who had the camels. And I love that Tom's like friends with everybody in town, but they all seem annoyed with him because he's constantly asking for favors. And he was doing it too with the couple, with the camels, but yet it seemed much more genuine, like kind of a more kind of loving, family-friendly vibe with that. But I did hate how when they're fishing out the body out of the water, it's not a human body, it's the camel.
I knew that was going to be the camel too.
I know, but it was so
going
sad.
Missing.
I know. I was like, I didn't need to see that. But no, this is great, and a big, big part of that is Sam Riley.
Yeah, Evan, how about you?
I went into this with very low expectations, and I was totally floored by how much I enjoyed this.
I'm kind of floored by how much you enjoy this. This does not seem like an Evan movie.
Right.
Although you love your noir, so
I do love noir. I do with a thriller, though. I generally like something more high octane than this. But this is really subtle, and it's a good noir. And I think, to your point, yeah, it definitely Sam Riley is a big part of it. I think it's a really excellent performance in a way that I've not seen him be good ever in anything I've seen him in. I've either seen him be bad or middling, and I think he's really good here. But I also think the score is excellent. I think the cinematography, the very like sun-soaked cinematography really works well.
Yep.
And there's some incredible like shots of places on the island, like the caves, and there's just so many interesting shot choices throughout the movie that make this much more than just kind of a bland, straight ahead movie that it could be. And yeah, the dynamics there where he's just kind of caught up in their business and he just can't escape. No, it's just he's like, even though he has so many chances to just extricate himself from the situation, and he can't because he just like can't pull himself away. I find that very compelling, and I found this compelling in that like Dave survives, so it's not like it easily could be a boring like, you know, by the numbers like, oh, it's murder and she conned him and like he's gonna take the fall for the murder, or you know, like we're never gonna find out what really happened. And I think it's more interesting that it goes this direction. It's more about like him being a dad to this kid, even though they never explicitly say yes for sure. I think the movie is saying that he is this kid's dad based on the factors that you mentioned, Megan.
Yeah.
And I like that too. I like that there's some ambiguity there. I like that it's not straight ahead. It's not like beating you over the head with an explanation. It's giving space for you as the viewer to decide and take all this stuff in. So I'm not sure how much more I have to say. I really thought this was good in a way that I was not expecting on a number of levels.
Well, that's cool. I think we're all in agreement then, because I loved this.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and I'm thinking to myself, there's no reason that this movie should be this good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this is truly one of those movies. On paper, it does seem like a Dave movie. It's like, it's kind of long. It's 2 hours and 3 minutes, which is not insanely long, but it's long.
Longer.
And nothing really happens.
Yeah.
Except everything happens. So, and I really was fascinated by the way, and this is the writing and the performance, I think, how Tom he's running from something. We don't know what. We know it's got to do with his tennis career, because it sounds like he had a promising career before a debilitating shoulder injury. But he knows how to be like charming in a genuine way. Like when he takes the family, you know, Anne and Dave and the kid out for dinner, and you know, he's doing that like in a genuine way. It's like, oh yeah, I like your kid. Your husband's complaining about the thing. You had a bad experience with the hotel, and I'll show you the sights and show you what I love about this island. And I think he also kind of remembers what he likes about it too.
Yeah.
And I agree. I loved the couple who owned the camel farm.
Yeah.
And I liked their kind of familial relationship with him.
Right.
It didn't just seem like a guy who like they sort of knew or whatever, you know, like they knew Tom and they cared for him and he cared about them. But it was an interesting contrast to see Sam, even though he probably smelled a little drunk and he was wearing a dirty t-shirt, to just do his job during the day and then at night just go out and be with the same attitude, be fucking blotto, you know? And Sam Riley kind of has this perfect, I've always kind of wondered, I'm like, what is it about this guy that doesn't quite work? And he's just got this kind of troubled look about him. And so I think that's what also really helps. You know, Sam Riley just looks like a guy who's like, oh man, the weight of the world on my shoulders. I hate this. But, you know, I'm trying to do the right things. And it really works in this role. There's an Austrian movie that he was in about 10 years ago that I think was Austria's choice for, you know, best, whatever they call it now, international picture. at the Oscars that he's the lead in, and it's a Western that takes place in Austria in in the mountains. And like, I have got to see this because this sounds, if it's good, this could really be a lot of fun. I will never watch On the Road again. I'll never watch Maleficent again. Although maybe I'll watch it just so I can hear Shalchel Copley say that.
Right?
Maleficent.
Maleficent.
I do like that movie.
That's right. You know what? I was confusing it with the second one, which is Wretched. The first one's actually pretty good.
Yeah, the second one is awful, but the first one is good. Yeah, agreed.
But anyway, yeah, I like this a lot. I'll be interested to check out Sam Riley and some other highly regarded films. Assuming, I'm not going to watch Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, but
I've seen it. It's not good. Yeah, I'm so glad we're in sync on that, Evan. Like don't waste your time. It's not good.
Yeah, but
he's supposed to be amazing in Control.
Yes, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're into like a slow burn that doesn't really end up the way you thought it was going to be, because I was the whole time I was thinking to myself, it's like, it feels like Dave should be dead, but at the same time, I don't think this movie is going to do that. I don't know what it's going to be though.
Yeah.
And the fact that he just, in line with how Dave is, became a drunk douchebag asshole and nearly killed himself.
But everything works out for this guy, and it's like, what the fuck? Like,
I know. I think that's another message. Is like, good things happen to shitty people,
shitty rich people. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know. Just I wasn't kind of when you first meet him, you're like, all right, he's probably a little douchey. Who knows? But then when they're at dinner and he's just like ridiculing her acting career, it's just like, all right,
ruthless.
Dude. Yeah. And then she's like, well, you did run my father's company into the ground, and and he's like, the market, like, okay, yeah, you were selling buggy whips when there were Trans Ams available. Fuck you.
But I think you're reminding me of something that I really wanted to root for Anne because he's such a douche. Dave is so awful. But yet, yeah, she's so terrible too because she's terrible to her son. And on top of it, by the end, she's terrible to Tom because she's like, she's like ridiculing his life. And she's like, well, because earlier she says something about like, oh, it would be great to get away. And, I liked island hopping and I like traveling and it would be wonderful to get away and just leave it all behind and live somewhere like this. But then by the end, she's like, well, you have to wake up and go back to reality. And she's totally denigrating his life. And it's like, what are we doing here? So she's terrible too. But I like that. I like that they're all terrible and kind of interesting. Well, Tom's not terrible. He's just got a lot of problems.
Tom's just lost.
Yeah, he's very lost. Yeah,
I like that the movie, he ends up, booking a ticket to get out of there to go somewhere else for a little while. And I like this idea that people are constantly telling him, if I was in your shoes, I would do blah, blah, blah all the time here. Or I would do this or that. And it's like everyone wants to tell him how he should be living his life and but not understanding what it's like to just live there all the time.
Yeah, that's the question though. What is it like to live in a place where it's a permanent vacation? To coin a phrase.
I mean, I will tell you, living in a place where it is kind of like a permanent vacation.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I kind of do. Like, it's sunny all the time. It's beautiful all the time. I live near theme parks. Like, depending on what you like to do for a vacation, that is a vacation. But I think that's the thing is that you're very much like Tom, and everyone wants to tell you what you should be doing or what have you, but it's like it's different when you're here, and it's still you still gotta get up every day, gotta go grocery shopping, you gotta go to work. Like there's still things you have to do even when you're in paradise. Like so, and I think that's the thing too is that sometimes people will tell you like, oh, I wish I could do what you did. Well, you can. Like you can make choices to change what you're doing, but you have to really want it or take some chances, So, and not everybody, I guess, has the means to, of course, or more the thing, I guess, not everybody wants to do that. And so I like that this film is exploring that too. So I think this film has a lot going on.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate. It's a really contemplative film, which I love.
Yeah.
Definitely. More than meets the eye when you're going into this film in a good way. There's layers.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think I like it even more talking about it with you guys.
Yeah.
And I already liked it a lot. So.
All right. Any closing thoughts? Are we good? Sounds like we're good.
Yeah,
We're
I
good.
think we're good.
Okay. Well, then let's move on to our last movie of the show. I don't know why I did it so sing-songy like that. This is A Private Life starring Jodie and a lot of really famous French people. Daniel, I can never pronounce his last name. Auteuil? I don't know. The 400 Blows kid. And
Matthew Amalric, who I'm like
Matthew Amalric, who's in like
it's a
every
French
movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he
Everything I
is in
said.
everything.
Yeah, I was like, it's a French movie, so of course he's going to be in it.
Yeah, and then Irene Jacob is in like a couple of scenes, you know. So, yeah. Anyway, so Judy, fuck me, Jodie Foster is a they call her a psychoanalyst or a psychotherapist, but she can prescribe medicine. And I didn't know this about France. I'm assuming that the movie would not make this mistake. They say that most psychoanalysts can't prescribe, but she has a license to subscribe, and she's got a very Freudian office. She's got the couch laid out like she's a Freudian, like clearly. Especially after that weird drunk monologue she delivers to her son. But I'm flashing forward.
Right.
She's got this patient who has missed a few sessions and turns up dead, and it is ruled a suicide. And so she goes to the wake, which, or I guess the Shiva.
The Shiva. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which the daughter comes by and tells Jodie Foster about. And while Jodie Foster's there, someone passes out. I can't remember who it was.
Matthew Amalric. He
it is him. Okay.
And then he yells at her to get out.
Yeah, because of course he says that, you know, Jodie Foster didn't, you know, commit any crimes or anything, but she's responsible for his wife's death, which is hilarious. And in just the way that is so male. Anyway, for him to think that, I mean. So Jodie Foster starts to think that her patient, Paula is her name, has not died by suicide, but was actually murdered by her husband, who also murdered her aunt that she didn't know about, because the daughter comes over and is like, this is so weird. Like, my mom inherited a bunch of money from her aunt who died like right before she did, but now it's going to go to my dad and me. She's like, that's fucking crazy. And
right.
And then the daughter seems like she's kind of shady, but then you realize, oh, that's just her face.
That's just her face.
Yeah. And then Jodie Foster has this total asshole patient who had come to her, I think he said 8 years ago, to quit smoking. I'm not really sure why you would, I mean, as a person who has experience with the tobacco.
The tobacco.
Right.
I'm not
the regular,
sure
not the wacky.
The regular, yeah. I'm not really sure what this guy's end game is, other than to be a dick in a very French way, I might add.
Very anti-Semitic too.
Yeah.
Is he? What does he say? I don't know.
He draws a swastika
on the door.
Yeah,
oh, that's
burglarizing her house.
But she didn't see it because
she
it was
didn't
right
notice
by
it.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
Just so
that's
stupid.
right.
So you're anti-Semitic and stupid. Great.
Yeah, so he breaks into her car and leaves like fake blood on it, and he steals, I think, one of the, she records all of her sessions, so he steals one of his sessions, and he has gone to this hypnotist and quit smoking after one like 30-minute session for 50 euros. And so Jodie Foster's feeling all freaked out about Paula's death and the way she was chased out of the Shiva. So she goes to see this hypnotist, and the hypnotist is like, well, I don't know. And she's like, because Jodie Foster, she can't stop crying. That's it. And she doesn't know why. She doesn't know why she's affected so badly. So she goes to the hypnotist, and the hypnotist puts her under. And then Jodie Foster has this Looney Tunes waking dream where she's in love with Paula, and she's actually a man, and they're going to have a child, and they're both cellists in this orchestra, and it's during World War II, and Matthew Amalric is the conductor, and he's got a gun, and then the Nazis are there, and they're storming the place, and
her son is collaborating with the Nazis to capture them.
Right, exactly. And so then the whole thing becomes this sort of kind of wants to be a comedy, but it also kind of wants you to take it seriously thing where Jodie Foster is doing her own unhinged investigation into Paula's death.
Yeah.
Breaking into into Paula's husband's country home where he is, fucking some woman immediately. So Jodie Foster,
not his cousin.
Not his cousin.
That's not his cousin. They're snooping in the bush, and her ex-husband is like, "Oh, it could have been her cousin." Then they see them like come out naked and start fucking. Like, okay, it's definitely not his cousin.
Yeah. And then like he sees the way they're having sex, and he's like, "How old is he?" And just like that made me laugh so hard.
That was kind of a funny aside, that scene.
Yeah. But I mean, so as it turns out, Jodie Foster hadn't known about the aunt being, I guess she was really ill, and Paula had altered this prescription and gotten, I don't know exactly what the thing is, but she put some drops in Pearl's thing, and she was like, "Pearl, you're going to drink this and you're going to be relieved and you'll be gone." But it's a planned thing. And then she's so distraught that she's killed her aunt that she kills herself. That's what ends up happening.
Right.
And Jodie Foster, that's the reveal. And Jodie Foster has been hearing the phrase, "My Pearl, how could I do this to my Pearl?" Not realizing that Pearl is actually the aunt because that's her name. And Jodie Foster doesn't listen closely enough. And so, and she also treats her son like shit and her ex-husband like shit. But being an American in Paris, can you blame her?
I love that she swears in English, and there's that one scene where she's trying to see the hypnotist again. The hypnotist is like, "Oh, I'm going on holiday." She's like, "The fucking French and their holidays."
Fucking French. Yeah. In a way that I think only an American could get that sort of angry. Correctly or incorrectly. Anyway, it ends up with Matthew Amalric breaking into Jodie Foster's office and, returning the tape that he or his daughter, he's not clear who took it. Someone took it. And he's like, "Well, you fucking broke into my house. You just can't fucking break into your office. What's wrong with you?"
Little mutual breaking and entering. Come on.
Yeah. And the way he, the whole thing is kind of like borderline. Well, it is malevolent. The way he's like kind of putting his hands on her and he's like, "Lie down on the couch.
Yes.
And, we're going to have a session or whatever." And, he says that, you're not guilty of anything, but you are responsible. You're culpable. And Jodie Foster's like, "That's bullshit." And he's like, "No, it's not bullshit." And he's like, "And I'm responsible too." And then he's like, "Close your eyes, close your eyes." And she's like kind of terrified and she closes her eyes and then she hears the door shut and he's just left. And it's like, I guess that was it.
Yep.
The end.
And then she decides she's going to start listening to her patients and be a better mother to her son and a more available grandmother. And life goes on with no consequences for breaking and entering.
Right.
So
she starts seeing the guy who broke into her house and drew the swastika again. He comes back to start doing therapy with her again.
Yeah.
Because he starts smoking again, which you learn toward the end of the movie. So anyway, private life. Megan went first for Island, so let's have Evan lay it on us.
Why do I get the feeling like I might have enjoyed this more than you two?
Oh, I don't know.
I actually like this quite a bit, and I think it struggles with tone, as you were saying before, Dave. There's definitely some points where it seems like it's kind of comedic, but a lot of this is much more somber and serious. I mean, it's like a murder. It's a story about her investigating a murder, or we find out later that it wasn't a murder, but there's a lot of like kind of humor between her and her ex-husband, who she teams up with to investigate this. And then they're
very fond of each other, despite not being married anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and then you find out they're still in love with each other, but they don't want the life.
But they don't
want
to live together.
Right.
They don't want to live together, but they're like, maybe we could just be friends who fuck.
Yeah, that sounds great.
which I got to tell you is the most French thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's like, that sounds like the dream. You live alone, but then, then you get to fuck your best friend. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I had no clue about the Jewish angle of this movie. Like, absolutely none. Like, I didn't realize that
me neither.
Matthew Amalric and his wife, they're Jewish. We have the Shiva scene. We find out that Jodie Foster is Jewish as well. So there's that weird, like, past life vision that keeps coming up. I think, to me, that's the thing that most doesn't work in this movie or feels like it doesn't belong. There's just, I could see maybe if she was like, did the hypnotist session and had that vision, but like the fact that it keeps coming up and it gets to the point where she's like drunk and like yelling at her son about it, I'm like, this feels like it belongs in a different movie, not this movie that's kind of more like straight ahead thriller, murder investigation, noir kind of a movie. I wasn't liking that I didn't think that piece was done particularly well, and I wish that there was more to that. If we're going to talk about them being Jewish, like that there was more to it other than like we have this guy who draws the swastika and then, he apologizes at the police station. And then after he's, trying to light a cigarette and she gives him a light and lights a cigarette. And then it's kind of like a subtle, like, oh, I forgive you for being a bigot and being a dick.
Yeah. And I think what's really, I mean, you're absolutely right, Evan. And I think what's even weirder about it is that except for Jodie Foster, who's not Jewish, all the other actors who are portraying Jewish characters are Jewish, and Rebecca Zlotowski, who's the director, is Jewish. So it feels even weirder to like let him off the hook. Like,
right?
What are we doing?
Yeah, I think that's a missed opportunity on the part of the film. Also, there's something that specific that was just straight up wrong during the Shiva that I feel like I need to call out. So the fact that the body is there uncovered, that's not correct. That is not Jewish tradition. Like you cover the body in a white sheet and it remains covered. And there are people who will sit with or near the body to keep an eye on it until it's time to bury the person. But the body wouldn't just be sitting in an apartment like that. It'd be like sitting in like a funeral home or something where someone be. That's the thing that I was just immediately saw that and was like, wrong. Why is this happening?
I remember that from the horror movie The Vigil that we watched, where someone had to sit with the body. Yeah.
So that was just a bizarre choice. And also there was the whole thing about like you cover the mirrors when you're grieving. And I think Jodie Foster, like, I don't know if she took the cover off the mirror or was trying to put it back on because it fell off. But then someone else was like, you'll bring a Dybbuk. You'll bring like a demon if you. This is like bad luck, basically. And then later in the movie, she makes some throwaway comment like, "Oh, maybe I invited the Dybbuk or something." But so like, I feel like that's a missed angle that could have been interesting here, and it's kind of a bummer. But I really did like it otherwise. I enjoyed seeing Jodie Foster in a French film. I liked that the murder investigation ended up boiling down to her not being a good therapist and not listening closely enough to the context clues that were happening for why this woman really did kill herself.
Yeah. That was really kind of amazing that the resolution was, oh, you're a shitty therapist and she didn't kill herself because you were a shitty therapist, but you didn't know why she killed herself because you were a shitty therapist.
You launched this whole murder investigation and you could have been paying attention and actually just realized it was a suicide the entire time. So that whole piece I thought was really fascinating and kind of, returning back to that conversation about Islands, it is more subtle in that way. It's not an explosive thriller, and I kind of appreciate that. It kind of upends expectations in a little bit.
The unifying theme.
I know, I was just going to say, we always have a thread. Yep, and here it is too.
Yep. All right. Okay. Well, we got one pro, A Private Life. Megan, where do you come down?
Evan, I actually feel very similarly to you. Very. I should say I'm obsessed with Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster is one of my first crushes as a kid, and I have been obsessed with her ever since. I have seen her in so many films. I haven't seen all of them, but I have seen most of her films because I love her so much. I love her as an actress, and I think she is endlessly talented. and I don't want to say one of the rare, but I'm going to say one of the rare great child actors who also is a phenomenal adult actor.
Right.
And I think she picks really intriguing roles, and this is no exception. This is not, like you said, a traditional murder mystery. It does have a strange tone. I agree with you about the whole hypnotist angle, and I thought what it was going to go to was, maybe she was in love with her patient and had kind of these unresolved feelings or something like that, and she knew she shouldn't have feelings for her patient, so she had buried them, and now it's coming out in this weird, like 1942 dream montage,
past life thing, which is also not a Jewish thing.
Yeah, like it's very weird, and I agree. And if it had been just one scene, maybe it wouldn't have been so much. But the fact that it does keep coming up, and it impacts how she talks to her son, and she's like, then she's blaming it on that's why they have a shitty relationship, because she's like, oh well, you were trying to turn over the Jews to the police, and that's why I always have felt distance from you. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are we doing
unhinged
here? It's nuts. And I mean, and part of it I kind of appreciate, because you are seeing how unhinged, full tilt she is, like just so chaotic. But then on the other hand, I'm like, wow, is she even a worse psychiatrist than I thought, because she's buying into this? Like, it's just weird. And so that angle I was not a fan of. But I love Jodie Foster in this. I think she's great. I love her as kind of cantankerous and obsessed, and she can't let go of this investigation, and she's roping her ex-husband into it. I love her relationship. I love Lillian's relationship. That's her character's name, with her ex-husband. I think that's great and really sweet. And it kind of surprised me how sweet it was.
It is really sweet.
Yeah, I love them, and I love how they love being in each other's company, and like there's no expectations, and and he's on board with her nonsense, and even when he's calling her out and saying like, this is ridiculous and is going too far, but he's still like tagging along because he's like, I need to see if you're crazy.
She's like, this is my job. He's like, is it your job?
Right?
Is it your job to be doing this?
Right. And I love that he's like, not really. Like, what are you doing? You should rethink this, but I'm still going to be here for you. And I feel like that's the ultimate support is, I'm going to call you out when I disagree, but I'm still going to tag along with you and support you, in your time of need. And so their relationship for me really anchors the film. I loved seeing them together. I also really enjoyed seeing the kind of laundry list of actors, other actors that you named, well, the ones you named, Dave, but also the other actors who I was thrilled to see pop up, like Park Ji-min, who has such a tiny role as Lillian's daughter-in-law, and she's so great in Return to Seoul, one of my favorite performances in the past few years. Luana Bajrami, who plays the deceased patient's daughter. She was great in Portrait of a Lady on Fire in a really little role. And the patient herself is Virginie Efira, who I've seen in quite a few French films, especially All to Play For, which is, she gives this wrenching role as a mother trying to get custody of her kids. But yeah, she's a great actor. I kind of wish we got to see more of her, even though it's kind of a smaller role and we're seeing it all in flashbacks. But yeah, I liked this. Again, this is not the murder mystery thriller you're probably expecting, but that's okay. I like that it upends expectations. And I think this was engaging for the performances and for the kind of conversations about, oh, wow, the kind of, awakenings of, wow, I'm terrible at my job and I really need to be more present and engaged in my job and with my family, and what am I doing? And so I really liked that angle. But the hypnotist angle, no, I did not like. But the rest of it, yeah. But also I kind of loved how she's like unhinged in her investigation, in the sense that, I get this one piece of quote evidence, which is not really evidence, and she's like, it's got to be the daughter. Oh wait, no, now it's not the daughter, it's got to be the husband, and he has to have killed her, and he had to have killed Pearl. And I'm just like, this is crazy. You're just leaping from conclusion to conclusion,
right? With often no evidence. It's all just,
But yes, but I liked this too. Dave, what about you?
Nah. I had a real problem with this movie's like shifting tone.
Yeah, that's fair.
I thought it actually worked better in the comedic elements than it did the more serious stuff because the transitions are so, I mean, I wouldn't say they're jarring in the sense, they're juxtaposed in such a way that it's just like, you're really jerking me from like one end of the spectrum to the other. And I don't think this screenplay is clever enough for that. I don't think it's a bad screenplay. I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff here. Like you two, I agree that the, World War II weird hypnotist flashback is completely misplaced.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know what the fuck that's doing here. Unless it means something to French people, who write films like this that I don't understand. I mean, anti-Semitism in France is still a big fucking deal. So
it is majorly.
And so, yeah. And in a way, I think that it's kind of like, you don't really, I mean, if you're not Jewish, you probably don't notice it as much, but it's, and the same way that anti-Semitism is huge in England. I mean, it's just like, I mean, the way anyway, it doesn't matter. We're talking about the movie. I think Jodie Foster's really good. I think that her husband is great. I think Matthew Amalric kind of does what he does.
Right. Be kind of a creep, an aloof creep.
Yeah, an aloof creep who's also kind of funny in this movie.
Yeah.
And then he's just got those fucking eyes that you cannot,
escape.
that you just, every time you walk into a room with him, you must be like, is he looking at me? Just because his eyes are like no one else's that I can think of in movies right now. And they always have been. So, I think that the relationship, the way she treated her son also it just kind of made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And not in a, this is good for, informing how I feel about like, her character, just kind of like really ugly in a way that I didn't understand, Now, granted, he could have been a total douchebag, but he doesn't get the screen time to let you know. All we see is him reacting to a woman that he thinks has treated him like shit his whole life. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really give you a chance to look at the other side of that. And the way that Jodie Foster's character explains it, Lillian, it doesn't make a lick of sense to me, but all right. I did appreciate the fact that she went and she held Joseph when he woke up and she gave him his bottle. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
that made me choke up a little bit.
Yeah, and it happened when he was a baby, not when he was like 17. So that's good.
Yep.
I just I do think that it's kind of funny that the whole reason this thing starts is because Jodie Foster's terrible at her job. That really, when the movie, and I'm like, this whole thing happened because she can't do her job. That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the ways that it went about exploring that didn't all work for me so much. I did appreciate that the therapist was just kind of like had hard lines about everything, which is also a very French way to live. Just like, no, I'm like this, and we're not going to, So, anyway, yeah, this didn't really work for me overall. It's not bad, but it's not, I didn't have the same kind of fun with it you two did. Although another thing that did really make me laugh is when the little boy was in the country house and she wasn't expecting a child to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And she like pretended she was a hypnotist and sent him back to bed, and it worked.
Yeah, that was quite the move.
I was like, that is a great little gag, that this woman who thinks hypnotism is bullshit not only believes her own vision, but then uses hypnotism.
Yeah.
So
there were a lot of silly moments around that scene. We talked about them when they're in the bushes. Then there's the part where the husband is in the shed with Matthew Amalric, and there's like flashes of the guns, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, those are my father-in-laws. They're not like they're not loaded or anything." And then there's like the bolt cutters and all those things that are like kind of spooking him that he's in like a murder shed. And then meanwhile, and then also like earlier, Matthew Amalric opens the door and he's naked with like a towel dangling in front of his crotch, and then he throws it to the other guy. Here, you must be
He's
wet
like,
because it's raining. Here, you take my towel.
Yeah, your junk towel. Thanks.
Man. Yeah. So that's where I come down on that. But I mean, this is just kind of a slight movie. You know, it's not like revelatory stuff, which is fine. Jodie Foster can do that. Not everything has to be Taxi Driver or The Accused or whatever, you know?
You're right. But it is so weird to think about a movie that's dealing with murder and suicide and depression and all of anti-Semitism and all these like really heavy issues is slight, but it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
weird.
It's kind of like when you think about just like you said, when you think about the themes and things like that, but I think it's a tone thing more than anything.
Yes. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's where I come down on ye old A Private Life.
You know what's funny though? I did enjoy this more than you did, but I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I think you're spot on. And yeah, like I didn't have fun with this. I think I just except I did have fun with Jodie Foster and her ex-husband. They were fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that they were fun too.
Yeah, they were a delight.
And of course, you know, you've seen all of the, like you said, this is kind of a who's who of who's famous in France actor-wise right now.
Yeah.
And who is like Matthew Amalric has been around forever. Daniel can never pronounce his last name, has been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, you know, a French cinema luminary. Yes. A French cinema luminary. So
yeah, Frederick Wiseman is in this.
Yeah.
It's wild. Yeah.
It is wild. Well, do we have any closing thoughts on A Private Life, or are we good with that one?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, let's recap. It sounds like we have 3 solid yays for Islands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to have to go to the individuals for how we feel about A Private Life. I'm kind of like, if you got nothing else to do, it's Saturday, it's raining, fuck it, go ahead. But that's how I am. How are you, Megan?
I think if you're a huge Jodie Foster fan like I am, then sure. But I don't know. I think your mileage will vary on this. This isn't one that I would be like, yes, you need to see, because it does have some issues. But yeah, did I enjoy it? Yeah, because of Jodie Foster. So it's a complicated yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page. It is. I think it's a yes, but it's not the most enthusiastic yes with your mileage may vary qualifier.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you a no, Dave?
No, I'm not a no. It's just kind of like, sure.
Oh, that's right. You said if you have nothing to do on an afternoon.
Yeah. It's like it's raining. I don't really feel like going to a cafe, you know.
Ooh,
but I don't want to be in the house. You know, so
now I want to go back to Paris.
Yeah, it's always a good time to go back to Paris.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is this week's show. That is Spoiler Piece Theater, episode 603, Megan's last episode. So we just told you what we think about the movies. I want to thank our excellent editor, Otto Clammer. Thank you, Otto, for making us sound like professionals each week.
Thank you so much, Otto.
Yeah, thanks, Otto.
And thank you to Heather Sachs, our sponsor piece patron. I always forget to mention Heather at the top of the episode because that's the more appropriate thing to do. But I'm mentioning you now, Heather. You are the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather.
And you can find Spoiler Piece Theater anywhere you get podcasts. Our website is spoilerpiece.com. On social media, we're Spoiler Piece Theater on Facebook, and we're at Spoiler Piece not Pieced, on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky, Threads. If you'd like to get in touch with us, please send us an email. That's spoilerpiece@gmail.com. If you like the show, please consider rating and reviewing us. You can go to ratethispodcast.com/spoilerpiece, or you can just do it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That is a big deal for us. We love it. And if you really like the show, you can join our Patreon. As I mentioned at the top of the episode this week, we talk about our poll winner. One of Megan's choices, Tank Girl, directed by Rachel Talalay. We're debating how to pronounce that at the beginning, and Megan thinks she found the definitive way.
Hey, she posted it on Twitter, so I'm going to go with that.
That's right. That's right. It was from the source herself. So there you go. Anyway, that's over on our Patreon. My name is Dave Riedel. I do movie stuff, and I am a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association.
Where can people follow you, Dave?
Oh yeah, wherever you get your social media, except for Twitter, I'm Dave Sees Movies, and on Blue Sky, I'm David M. Riedel. But my name is David the Dim Riedel, so don't be confused when that pops up.
Gotcha. My name is Evan Crean. I am co-chair of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, co-author of Your 80s Movie Guide to Better Living, and co-host of the It's the Pictures podcast. You can follow me on social media as Real Recon, and that's real as in film reel.
And my name is Megan Kearns. I'm co-host of the Slashers podcast. I write and podcast for In Session Film. I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association and a member of Gallica. You can follow me on Blue Sky and Twitter at Opinion S World, or Instagram and Letterboxd at The Opinion S. And thank you. It's been a delight and a pleasure all these years.
Thank you for being our co-host, Megan.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. See you next time, everyone.
Bye.